Welcome to another twist. This is Mark, everybody, and it's going to rain today here, Rick. We've had some summer weather, which is, not unexpected in September, but it's been really warm, but today it's going to be my kind of day with lots of clouds and raindrops and it's a little bit cooler. How's it going there? Where are you, by the way? You're not at home.
No, I'm in Madison, and I just posted on our social media sites that I'm coming to everybody live from Madison. So now I'm at a friend's house, but yeah, it's a beautiful, cool fall day. I'm gonna take a little ride to Dubuque. I bought some furniture over that way, Mark, and I got to go pick it up. I bought it about a month ago, and so I'm gonna get a nice ride, see some southern color. It's colorama season here. Leaves are changing. Then on Saturday, I'm gonna head up north by my mother in the northern part of the state and really see full-on oranges and reds and vibrant yellows, golds, all those good colors.
Sounds like my glasses today. For those of us who check us out on the YouTubes, I got my little rainbow glasses on. I needed something to cheer me up. I was not down, but not in the best mood. So, but the glasses always help.
Well, so how do they cheer you up if you don't see them on yourself? Just seeing people's response to them makes you
It's a
happy?
state of mind. Rainbows are a state of mind.
They sure are, and those dang LGBT
How's
field
that? How's
folks.
that for a
Oh,
quote? Rainbows are a state of mind.
I like it. Mark, so in full disclosure, everybody, thanks for joining us. Mark doesn't feel well prepared for the show. I said, don't worry, because I'm over prepared, and you just make comments because
Rick's always fully loaded, right?
got a fully loaded, ready to shoot. I got a lot going on. But anyway, nonetheless, Mark, you always amaze me. And so if you didn't have a quote for the show, now you have one.
Oh,
You
I
just
have a
created
quote. I definitely have a quote for the show.
We got a lot to talk about. First of all, guys, happy National Coffee Day.
Oh my gosh! And I'm like I said, I'm drinking black coffee because it's scheduled eating. I don't like the term intermittent fasting. It sounds like too like airy fairy. I don't like it. But basically, I don't. I'm trying not to start eating until 10 o'clock, and then we finish eating by 7. But that means I have to have black coffee because creamer. It has to do with the sugar levels and stuff like that. So I can't put creamer in my coffee till 10 o'clock.
It's so funny you say creamer because I will only use cream. If they try to give me a creamer that's got the name Carnation or something on it, won't touch it. Mine has
This
to be full.
Carnation's still around. I worked at Carnation as a temp in LA in the 80s. I don't know if they're still around.
I think so. I've seen them at work, like the little flavored ones. You know what I'm saying? Just not a fan. But for those that want to know, Dunkin' has free coffee today. I think it's like buy one, get one or something. Oh, no, buy any item. And I've done this before. The cheapest item is the hash browns for 89 cents, and then you get a free coffee. So Krispy Kreme has the best deal out there for those that want to go jump on it. Krispy Kreme is giving a free coffee, and if you have a loyalty card, they'll give you a donut. Wawa, out on the East Coast by you guys, Mark.
Oh yes, we have Wawas.
But they're doing it in October. They don't even celebrate it on the actual day, I don't think. So I think they're celebrating free coffee later. Starbucks, 7-Eleven giving a buck off. So go out and enjoy your coffee. My friend wrote me this morning because she saw I had posted Happy Coffee Day. Kathy Bisson, she works at public television. She gets up very early. A name you remember when we were working on Into the Outdoors. She was friends of mine back then, producing television. But she had a little gnat dip into her coffee this morning.
Gnat,
Oh,
like a
that was big.
GNAT, like a bug.
Yeah, be a gear grinder for me. I couldn't drink it.
Oh, I wouldn't drink it either.
Well, I don't know
Which
if she
I'm
did
sure
or
we do. I'm sure we do lots of times and don't even know it. And imagine what we eat
imagine what goes
without
into our
knowing
mouth
it.
without us even being aware.
It's kind of disgusting.
Like when a bug flies into your mouth. Speaking of bugs, the new iOS 14 is out, probably fixing a lot of bugs, but usually an update is just to fix bugs, so to speak. But this iOS 14, for those that use Apple, you're going to love it, man. It is revolutionary. It came on very fast. So a lot of app developers, myself included, because we have apps for the shows I work on, were very upset because it didn't give us a lot of time to update the apps. But it launched great graphics, great way to use your phone. So that's new. That came out a couple days ago. If you haven't uploaded it, you should, Mark. You're not on Apple, though, are you?
Yeah, I've been an Apple. I've had iPhones for years, and I have a
Did you?
Mac. A Mac is much better than a PC. It's in terms of a desktop. A Mac's a lot better.
Did you? I know for sure it's more stable. We use them at work. Did you upload the iOS though?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm sure I probably gotta update a little alert, but they are annoying, especially on my desktop. Like I keep telling it to remind me tomorrow because I hate it when it updates on the Mac, the desktop. It takes like an hour and it just fucks everything up. And So no, I have not, Rick. But thank you for giving me something to look forward to today.
Oh, here's something else to look forward to. This Saturday, Saturday Night Live comes back to Studio 8H in Rockefeller Center. They're going to be the first live show. They haven't been there since March. They did everything on Zoom, but they're going back and they're going to have a live audience, unlike a lot of these other talk shows. And they're
Really?
going to test, yeah, when you arrive to the studio, they're going to test you for the virus. And then by the time the show starts, it's that fast test. They'll know if you have it or not. So apparently you're going to take your seat and they're going to kick you out. But isn't it too late if you're negative and you've already been in the environment? I don't know. They're check temperatures, all that good stuff. First time in a long time, the entire cast is returning for season 46 plus 3 new featured players. And they made the announcement, what's her name that plays Kamala Harris is coming back, former cast member.
Maya Rudolph. Yeah.
Maya Rudolph. And guess who's going to be playing? This person has never been on Saturday Night Live, but has done late night sketch comedy, if that's a clue. And they're going to be playing Joe Biden this season.
You got to tell me. I can't guess.
Jim Carrey.
Oh, Jim Carrey. Oh, that's funny because I like him. He's very anti-Trump. He's very liberal, Jim Carrey. You're talking about Jim Carrey from in Living Color.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome because I like him. I really do like him. He's interesting. He was with that anti-vaxxer though for a while. The woman.
Oh, yeah. But he is good. Chris Rock's hosting the show. Megan Thee Stallion, who I am not a fan of, is the musical guest.
You don't like WAP, the song WAP?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show before. I didn't know they can't even publish their lyrics. Isn't that what you told me?
Well, they're pretty explicit. Like the show sometimes. It's going to be explicit today because I am worked up.
You are on fire.
Fire. You remember the Ohio Players? We should do little songs sometimes. Fire. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Fire. Have you forgiven Ellen, by the way? I'm just curious. I know it's a side thing, but have you forgiven her for...
I don't think I was ever really mad at her because I don't have the details. Did you have
I was never a fan of hers. I never disliked her, but I was just never an Ellen fan. I mean, I thought she was just like a clownish lesbian, but then she became Ellen, and then I felt bad for her because everybody was piling onto her. I don't really have a stake in it, but it probably didn't help her to like do this whole be kind, I'm super sweet and nice personality because nobody is that. Really.
No. Well, we're all a little polarizing, to be honest. Some of us are more loved by others and more not. Like today,
I'm loved by everybody.
I am too. My friend Pam wrote me, "Good morning, my favorite brother. Safe travels today." Jill Wynn just wrote me, "Good morning, sunshine. Have an awesome day." My friend Opal wrote me. I call her Opal.
Rick,
that was a
you have so many friends. Don't I? Had nobody texts me anything. Although we did recently make another friends with another couple out here, which is nice. An older gay male couple. So that's
Is
fun.
that the guy whose 80th birthday or whatever you were celebrating? I found you on Instagram.
No, 70th birthday. He was part of the seniors group. So let's get into the show. Enough
Some
with
headlines,
the intro.
Mark. What you got?
Headlines from the news. I don't really have any. I told you that when we started. I was lax in getting my headlines. I do know that there was the lesbian wedding that they did it on Zoom, and they're like enormous lesbians. And I'm not fat shaming. I'm not fat shaming them, but they're really big. And they did a Zoom wedding and like invited people, and 10,000 people watched their wedding.
Oh, I love it.
That was crazy. And then there was another one where Gavin Newsom, bless him, goddess bless him, the transgender inmates will be housed in California according to their gender identity, which I think is awesome because we have talked about this before. Trans people are under just brutal assault under the theocratic Trump evangelical administration. I mean, there's so much in the news. I didn't really need headlines. I mean, we've got the Trump taxes. We got Cozy Coney Bassett, whatever her name is, going on to the Supreme Court.
Pussy Galore was her name.
She's going to screw everybody, by the way. So we got to talk about that stuff. I don't really have. I just didn't do a lot of headlines. The news was getting to me, so I said I'm tuning this out.
Well, I appreciate it. That's part of the show today. Mark's just not going to go down there. I've got some happy news headlines.
Do it.
I'll share
I
those,
want to be happy.
Yeah, mostly about the media. And then, like Mark said, our today's topic is going to be the Supreme Court and how it will change and if it changes and all that good stuff. Stacker compiled the data for all TV reviews available on Metacritic. Metacritic takes average reviews of each season of TV shows and ranks them according to the highest average. And so they came out with a list of the top 100 shows of all times on television. And would you believe Mad Men, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad made the cut, but runaway successes like Game of Thrones and other beloved classics like MASH, Seinfeld, I Love Lucy, Cheers, Law and Order, any version, and Friday Night Lights never made the top 100.
The top 100 TV shows of all time?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. Who did they ask?
I know. Well, it was they take all the critics that have, critiqued the show and they look at it.
Were there sitcoms in the top 5 or do you know?
Oh, there were. The Office UK version was number 2 because I knew you'd ask. And that's
oh
funny.
yeah, that really makes sense. Like anybody in this country has seen it.
And they have. You can watch it on Netflix and stuff, I think. And Planet Earth, Blue Planet, number 2 was the number 1 of the 100 best shows.
I've never heard of it. Come on.
I never heard of it. Here's one.
This is elite shit. This is why Trump got into the White House.
Borat, you know Borat.
Oh, that I liked. Yeah, Borat.
Yeah, Borat. What's his name? Sacha Cohen.
Sacha Cohen Barrett. He's going on to the Supreme Court.
He would have been a better choice.
I mean, yeah, we'll get there because I got some stuff to say about this little handmaiden.
But I'm susceptible to cough this morning. Hold on.
Don't make you laugh. Oh, everybody, he muted it so I can see him coughing. And
it's on YouTube. It's like, but there's no cough.
Wow.
I'm back
amazing.
now.
It's like magic.
Anyway, he has been testing his new movie. He went out and filmed it. Apparently, I think Rudolph Giuliani, whatever his name is, Rudy Giuliani, a bunch of other people. You know how Sasha works, but so the name of it though, and it hasn't been changed by the WGA yet. They have the ability to change the name of a movie or suggest a change. Is Borat, Gift of Pornographic Monkey to Vice Premier Miguel Pence to make benefit recently diminished nation of Kazakhstan. I gotta love it. My friend Paul, who I saw down south this last couple of weeks, he loves it. I love it. I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, I'll go see it. We haven't been to a movie yet post-pandemic, post-lockdown. The pandemic is not gone. So we haven't gone to a movie yet. We have not eaten inside yet, but it's getting chilly, so we're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, things are moving inside, and that's what they're worried about Wisconsin, because once it moves inside, like it did in the South.
And you guys are having a spike.
We are. It's made national news, so I don't know what's going to happen. But in the South, like Arizona spiked when it got hot. People went inside. We're going to get cold and go inside, so we'll see. Speaking of movies, it's very interesting. I was talking to a friend that works in the film industry. They're all kind of sitting and waiting. One of my friends is working on the movie that The Rock is shooting. And, of course, The Rock announced at the beginning of September he, his wife, and 2 children were diagnosed, and so they had to go on hold. My other friend's working in Philadelphia. She's working on the movie called Hustle with Adam Sandler, produced by LeBron James. But here's some interesting things about what they're doing. They have to go into quarantine, every member of the crew. So let's say there's 500 members of the crew. They have to go into quarantine for 8 to 14 days, and they're paid every day to sit in a hotel room. And then each of them gets their own car. Usually you have like transport, you get in the bus and move from location. They rent 500 vehicles, and everybody on the crew gets their own car.
Oh my gosh. I want to do it. That's the job, man.
That's the job.
Now, do you have headlines?
I do. Well,
or is this it?
No, you were talking about movies. Yes, I do. Here's a couple quick headlines. Things wrapping up in the fire in Oregon, as we know, but sadly, of the 3 main fires outside of Portland, Beachy Creek Fire, 192,800 acres. Lions Head Fire, 200,000 acres, and Riverside Fire, 138,000 acres. There's a fire in Napa Valley this morning. It started yesterday, so it's just never ending. But on the good news, get this, the first all-female fire rescue team, this is a headline, makes history. They're out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Didn't we talk about that community? Isn't that the community that's got like an all-gay city council too?
Palm Beach?
Yeah, wasn't it? Palm Beach Gardens.
They could, yeah.
Well, anyway, this is the first time in history. 5 female firefighters. South Florida, they're making history. Department's been around since 1963, but every member of the fire rescue team is a woman. Pretty cool.
I was just doing a little picture of myself, by the way, for Facebook. We talked about that last week. You don't like selfies, and then I'm thinking, Rick's putting all these selfies up. You put a lot of selfies up for somebody who doesn't like them.
I do not. When did I put a selfie up?
You do it on our page, on the Twist page or whatever,
Yeah,
Instagram.
follow us on Instagram, folks. Mark posts his trips, posts all the things he's up to this fall. Check it out. Mark, do you have any this or that's?
I do. I
Ring
do.
that bell.
Uh,
Bell, please.
oh, I'm sorry. Now, we have to, masks are a thing now, and they're going to be a thing for a while. They're like an accessory that we have to live with. So, do you prefer like cloth masks
Ah,
or the ones you get at the drugstore? They're not cloth, but you know what I'm talking about, like store
yeah.
bought or cloth.
I prefer the surgical ones, like the store bought
Oh,
ones.
that's good. Surgical.
Yeah,
Surgical.
surgical or like the N19s or whatever they're called.
They're
I like the
they're
ones that are more paper. Yeah.
Yeah, paper. They're not. I don't know. I have a really fun one that I got because they are a fashion statement now. People are doing all. The ones I can't stand are the ones that say MAGA on them. I feel like ripping those off.
A friend
Um,
had posted on Facebook someone was wearing their MAGA mask and it was down over their nose and they just wanted to go and slug them.
yeah.
But
Okay. Your turn.
oh, me? This or that, Mark. Three choices in this one.
3.
Yeah, three.
Can I
Well, the
handle
other
it?
day I was laying by my window like a cat. I know you love cats. I'm not a cat fan, but I felt like a cat. I was just laying there on Sunday looking out as though a cat on a rainy day from my window, and I loved it. And I got to thinking, blinds, fabric curtains, or nada, like just the window without any protection.
I like curtains because I live out in the country and we have curtains. We don't have blinds at the house.
Yeah, I would say I like nothing on my windows, but if someone's going to see in, of course.
Nothing. You're not on the first floor, please.
Well, I sleep on the second. I prance around naked on the first. But
or,
I
or
do
or
like,
you well you prance around.
I prance
You don't have to be
around.
naked. You don't have to be naked to prance, Rick.
Oh, I know. I'm just a poodle, proud poodle. But I love just like clean line blinds, you know? I love that look. Like wood blind slats. Anyway, crazy. Your turn.
Carrot or coconut? We had a cake last night. You saw it. That was a carrot cake. But carrot cake or coconut?
You know, only because carrot cake has so many calories. I like it if it's got a good nut in it, but I am a coconut fan. Anything coconut, I love it.
I do love coconut.
So is that what yours was? You said?
Last night it was carrot, but it's such a toss up for me because I love a good coconut cake.
I love anything coconut. Um, Playing cards or playing board games?
I'm gonna say cards. I don't really do either, but board games I think are more common. But if you said to me, I would rather sit around and play cards.
I think so too. Like a little card mixed with the game, like Yahtzee or something that's got like, or Tenzi. Our family was playing that during the virus when we were isolated.
Tenzi. What the hell is Tenzi?
Oh, it's cool. Like you have 10 dice and everybody rolls these 10 dice. And like you turn over a card and the card will say four fours, three threes, and two twos. And you keep rolling until you get whatever that combo is. Or it may have a little pattern and you have to lay out the pattern after you roll those dice in the shape of that pattern. Like here's a dice with a 3 on it and a 2 on it. And then you yell 10Z or whatever the name of the Z is, like 10Z, triple Z, something. It's fun.
Now I have a fondness for card games that I played in the psych ward, um, and because I was in the psych ward at one time in my life when I was young. But I just thought that was fun to tell people that, like in case
I,
they're gonna like be careful around me. But
guys, I didn't even know this, and I've known Mark 30 years.
we
Wow,
played euchre. You ever
that's
heard of
nice.
euchre?
Yeah, I know euchre. Did you were there some people that were special and get freaked out, or was it a pretty normal experience for you?
No, it was normal. Um, Anyways, I don't want to talk about it, but it had to do with addiction because that's where they put people. There
Oh,
was not a separate ward in my hometown when I was in my teens. They didn't have an alcoholics ward, so they put everybody in the psych ward. Okay, there you go. My
well,
turn.
yeah, and we're wrapping up National Addiction Month, by the way, but that never ends, guys. For those of you that are out there in recovery, and those that are headed to recovery, we're there for you. Yes, your turn.
Didn't I just do coconut or carrot?
You did. Now, don't you have one more? Are you done?
I thought you had to have one.
Then I did Carter board game.
Oh yeah, okay. This one is kind of pointless because you've made it very clear how you feel. Cats or dogs?
Oh my Lord Jesus, neither though. So, there you go. And I know you love your cats. So one last one. This
No,
is
but if
not a.
you had to have an animal in your home,
Oh,
which
it'd be a dog.
okay.
Mostly because of allergies. Now my nephew is thinking of getting a cat. And I'm like, oh
Is
God, no,
that
I
why
can't
you're
believe
rubbing your eyes? You had a cat
God, it's been
sleeping on you?
wrong. Oh my God. Now I got the vid all over my eyes.
See,
So here's
by the way, I want to bring this up because it's important. This time of year, I was telling somebody my eyes dry out because we're changing seasons, and so the air starts to get really drier. And now I'm like rubbing my eyes all the time, and we have to be really careful because that you can wear a mask all you want to, but if you're touching stuff and rubbing your eyes, you're still going to get sick. So be careful, people. Do not touch your face.
and it's tempting in general because I like to do a sleepy eye thing, but it's also, like you said, that time of year. So one last one. Not honor my friend Joe. We were talking about this the other day. Fan or no fan when you're sleeping? You like to hear the sound of a fan or
Oh,
no
I
fan?
love the sound of a fan, but it's too cold now to have. I mean, it's getting when it's cold, like we can't have a fan on. I used to have a white noise machine years ago, but I love a fan on, ceiling fan
Yeah.
especially.
Well, then you just like dial it up on your Amazon and tell her to play fan sound for you.
Play a fan sound. Okay,
Hey, Alexa,
Alexa, play ceiling fan.
she got to start playing it in here. Careful, careful
Oh
what
my
you say.
God, she did here too.
Oh Lord, I was fighting with mine this morning. That's not unusual though, but that's all good. So Mark mentioned earlier, guys, give your feedback on the show. If you have any questions, write in. Um, you
What's
know,
our
um,
what's our email?
I'm just telling
Oh,
people,
twisted at the twistpodcast.com.
yeah, or just put it as a DM or a post on our Instagram or our Facebook page. You'll find us out there. 87 days to Christmas, and every week, every podcast, I should say. We're going to take a little break next week, guys, but every
Yeah.
podcast, I'm posting a gift. And this week's gift is really unique. Last week, it was Cocoa chocolate. My favorites are their, what do you call it? London Fog chocolate. My friend Vata makes a wonderful chocolate. But this, Mark, is a story from the Today Show that I'm going to post that tells you how to, this is the greatest gift I could give any of you. The title of the story that I'm going to post is my gift to you. How to navigate holiday family gatherings in the age of COVID-19. It's your guide to having awkward conversations and minimizing coronavirus spread at family get-togethers. So 2020.
Yes.
And then there's a picture of like this. They took a historic family photo and then they made them all wear, they superimposed masks on it. But seriously, I was talking to a friend last night. They're like, are you going home for Christmas? What are you doing? There's a lot of conversations to be had right now. What is Christmas and Thanksgiving going to look like for y'all?
Or Halloween. That's right around the corner. And we live near one of the biggest Halloween towns in the country, Lambertville.
Oh,
And like, are they going to still have, everybody going to still put out all these insane decorations? And what are they going to do? It's going to be really interesting.
it is going to be. That is going to be interesting. Well, another one, just an idea, is Sam's Club has their American Vintners sweater collection. 12 days of wine calendars out. Lent is 24 days, but this is just the 12 days of Christmas. Different bottle for every day. People are into advent calendars and all those kind of calendars. But also just a shout out, Yom Kippur ended last night at sundown. I believe it's the holiest day of the year for our friends of the Jewish faith and tradition. The day they're closest to God and to the, their souls. It's a day of atonement for them. So, Yom Kippur coming to an end.
And Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on the Jewish New Year.
Right at the beginning of it, which they said makes her special, right, or something in that faith.
And people who die on that day they got little extra bows or something in there, something. But anyways, I'm just telling you that. So what's going on? What's new?
No, that's it. And then also, if you're on social media, hop over to LGBTSR.
No, I don't do that.
Why? I still post on there.
I don't know the Facebook page. Oh yeah, okay. I was going to say not the website. I'm not doing the website anymore. I'm done with all queer
Facebook
people.
page, which is a big group, and you should be proud of that.
No. The Facebook page is active. Yes, I thought you were plugging the website.
No, I did my homework, and I'll post things on there. This is for people 50 plus that are in the LGBTQ community, and it's there's some good stories on there, Mark. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's nice to see people act, but one of the reasons I didn't really feel a need to keep doing the website lgbtsr.com
I know.
is because of social media now. You've got Facebook groups. There's not really a need for 8 or 9 years ago. Yes, there were not a lot of websites out there or blogs for senior queer people, but now Facebook is kind of like taking over everything. They don't need it. They just go on these groups with thousands of members and exchange information and opinions, and so it just had run its course.
Well, that's so interesting. So last night made a major announcement at our company after 33 years. And one of the big things we're purporting is digital first. I mentioned earlier that I worked on apps. So for those that don't know, Mark and I created a show 20 years ago called Into the Outdoors. That show is still under my family's company. My brother and his wife own the company. A show called Discover Wisconsin that I hosted for 9 years with the beautiful Stephanie Klett. And then we also do a show called Boondock Nation. But I was out with my friend Mariah Haberman after our meeting and talking, and we talked about just that. She's in charge of our Discover Wisconsin brand. She hosts it, and she was saying, she doesn't know what to do with the website right now because everything is kind of socially media fed. We came out with a new podcast called The Cabin, and you're right. I mean, things are just different now than.
And it's cool. And, people like you and I are on the tip, and we're flexible. We flow with the go. That's just, that's who we are.
I like that. I'm going to use everything backwards to make people think. Ring that bell.
Yeah, good luck making people think. You have the wrong species, I'm afraid.
It ain't the year for people to think. I got some gear grinders, or should we just go to the topic of the day?
I got some gear grinders. What is the topic of the day? Remind me. The
topic of the day is the Coney dog lady that's going to the Supreme Court.
Oh, Supreme Court. Then I'll save her. Here's my gear grinder. Yeah, and there's so many to choose from, and we're gonna skip next week because we need breaks, and we're having like a staff retreat, right? We're doing a Zoom thing next week, so we'll all be gone. But oh my God, Trump's taxes is like a huge thing. I'm so over people. That's Frank, my husband. Hi, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, what's up, dog?
I'm really over people acting. I'm going to throw this out. I'm so tired of people acting like avoiding taxes. We won't say evading because then that's a criminal thing. But like people act like if you can figure out how to not pay any taxes, you're some kind of super smart winner. Bullshit. We all benefit from taxes. People need to understand. You may not want to pay taxes. Then don't drive on the roads. Don't expect the military to do anything to defend you. Don't expect the police to show up at your door. That's what taxes pay for. So that I have zero respect for people who don't pay taxes and people who admire people who don't pay taxes. Fuck you. Because that's what I'm hearing about with Trump now. Oh, he's so smart. Anyways, let's not get too wound up there. Oh, here's my gear grinder. The media constantly asking Trump, I will not call him the president anymore, if he will accept the results of the election or / agree to a peaceful transition. It is not his choice. It is our choice. For ever since this country has had elections, presidential elections, the voters decide. Abraham Lincoln in 1864 thought he was probably going to lose the election. He began preparing for a transition of power. He was Abraham Lincoln. And he declined to nominate a Supreme Court justice until after the election. Huh. That's a president. We have a thug. We have a con man. We have a grifter. We have a sociopath in the White House. I will not mince words. So asking him whether he's going to accept the results, stop it. It's not his fucking choice. It's ours. That's my gear grinder because I'm over it.
Those are like real gear grinders. Those are things that are like more in depth than just like someone that stands too close to you in the grocery store line. And you're right. They're more and more and more. The debate's on tonight. That's news.
Yeah,
and
debate.
I just can't watch it because I can't stand hearing him talk. Once in a while, I'll listen to a soundbite because I just can't believe it. So I sporadically just pop into a story where there's a video of him. Won't watch it, but I listen to the soundbite. I'm like, could he say anything more dumb? And in the tax thing, my favorite was like, yeah, well, I state tax too, and it's big. You pay big state tax in New York, big tax. What the fuck does that mean?
We're going to watch the debates because I want to see it, but I don't think I can do 90 minutes. I mean, I'll watch it until I have to leave the room, which is what I did yesterday on The View with Ted Cruz. They had Ted Cruz on, and I'm like, I gave him like 3 minutes, and I just left the room because now the Republicans. Just tell us the truth. Just be honest. Say it's all about power. That's all it's been about. That's all it's going to be about. Do not tell me, thinking that I'm so stupid to believe that suddenly they can now ram this decision, this nominee through because there's a Democratic Senate. I mean, a Republican Senate and a Republican president. That's not what they said 4 years ago with Merrick Garland. They said the people should decide. That's what they said. The people should decide in this presidential election. Now it's like, oh well, but that's different because we had opposite parties. Fuck you, man. Just tell me the truth. Don't treat me like I'm a moron. Thank you.
And there's another explicit comment from Mark McNease. Now we have to mark the content explicit, Mark.
Well, I always do, anyways.
Well, yeah,
because we're gay. We're explicit people.
Flip something off, and so my pet peeve. I have two because you had two, and they're a little more mild. One is use Google, folks. Like when I say to someone, like, "Hey, meet me at such and such," and they're like, "Well, where is that?" Or,
"Oh yeah, just research it."
Freaking Google it on your phone. I mean, like, or I'll say, oh, my favorite is if I, and I do this a lot on my Facebook. I'll say, oh, prayers for Ohio or Dayton, Ohio. What happened? How about just type in Dayton, Ohio in your Google bar and it'll tell you something. I'm not your news service. I'm just expressing my feelings. I use Facebook as a timeline for my life, like what happened on this day and kind of things when I look back at it. But anyway, use the freaking Google. Use the Google mark.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, my second one is going to be a little controversial. Now, you and I grew up in the theater world. That's how Mark and I met, for those that don't know. And it was back in the day when Miss Saigon was casting. And you know this, as part of theater history. They cast Jonathan Pryce in the role of an Asian man. Hamilton, more recently, in the Broadway cast of Hamilton, they used all non-white casting call, pretty much. The cast call even said non-white actors, please apply for the show. It was the nature of what the artist Lin-Manuel was doing with Hamilton. And now all of a sudden, with everything backlashing and racial equality, and please guys, just hear me out before you tune us out or make an assessment of where I'm headed. All of a sudden, these were really fast fired after the the killing in Minneapolis, the murder. Zoe Saldana, releasing a tearful apology for accepting the role of Nina Simone back in 2016, a role for which the Afro-Latina actress darkened her skin and wore a prosthetic nose. We had Tina Fey, they're like, you have to give back your Mark Twain Award because you did an episode that involved blackface. And she's going to be my quote at the end of the show. You had The Simpsons, like where they're like, okay, we agree. We're not going to use, who's the main actor on there that did a lot of
Pandahar, the Indian guy.
Yeah, Apu, whatever. And that was all Hank Azaria.
Dan,
right?
somebody. Dan.
No, I think it was Hank Azaria played it, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It sounds like Dan, but I'm with you. And then they're making a statement, no, we're going to not use a non-Indian voice. You and I worked on a project together that involved a transgender Asian man. And we were told when we started casting people from the transgender community that we have to be true to it. And they were interesting, as you remember. They're like, well, you could probably have a non-Asian play it, but they have to be transgender to understand it. But I want to say also, most recently, David Copperfield movies out in the theaters. Dev Patel playing the lead character in a story about Dickens' character. He played David Copperfield. Now, that's an Indian actor playing that. And all the characters in that movie, Mark, were wonderfully, I don't know if you heard this story. He's been interviewed about it. Were of all races and everything. It's just like, hey, we've got a human story and we're going to have human actors tell the story. So that's all. I don't believe you make it a deal. And so it's a gear grinder to mine when everybody's like, you have to be, and you may totally disagree with me, but I think you just cast to cast. That's all.
Yeah.
So now you don't agree with me.
No, I agree with you. Oh, you agree with casting whoever is whatever.
Yes.
Yes, but I think there are definitely exceptions. You certainly shouldn't cast a white person. You remember Fu Manchu or the Charlie Chan movies?
Yeah.
Do not tape up a white person's eyes and cast them as an Asian. Please don't. Well, there are definitely the lines that I don't think should ever be crossed. I'm not a huge fan of straight actors playing gay characters,
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I agree. I would never advocate that. And I agree with Tina Fey in the case of blackface.
I'll tell you one thing that bugs me.
Yeah.
On the sitcom Mom, which we watch all the time. the guy who plays Adam, they're married now. He's married to Allison Janney. He's not in a wheelchair.
Huh.
I don't like abled actors playing disabled characters.
Yeah, that
That
makes
bugs
sense.
me. Because you could find a very good actor who's in a wheelchair
These days,
for real.
especially,
So
there's
that
agencies
bothers me.
that specialize in that. When we were casting that role I referred to earlier, there are agencies that specialize in representing transgender community. I get it. If Yeah, I get it, but I also think like there's something to be said about art and having that freedom. So go see Copperfield, guys, and see what you think and see if you understand what I'm trying to say here. So let's go on today's topic. You already ring that bell.
Yeah, ring a bell. Ring that bell.
So we got, let's be fair, she has a real name. It's something
Amy
called,
Coney Barrett.
that's it.
And by the way, this is another little annoyance, a mini gear grinder. I'm capable. I have enough of an intellect. Hurry up, please. Should I keep talking?
Good coffee.
I can pronounce people's names. If they have three names, it's Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Ruth
Right.
Bader Ginsburg, Amy Coney Barrett.
Right.
I'm capable of saying those names. I do not need to reduce everybody to AOC, RCB, RBG, TNT, DMZ. I hate the fucking initial bullshit. Her name is Amy. Are you coughing? Are you dying on me?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just putting it out there. I'm not about to call her ACB. It's bullshit. Her name is Amy Coney Barrett.
But you saw that they're using that to say she's the next RBG.
I reject that completely. She's, first of all, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That was a whole thing that happened. Notorious RBG. It goes back to Notorious B.I.G., who was Biggie Smalls. It happened late in her life, in her career. It was a fun thing to do. But that belongs to her. And like, I saw them putting out some T-shirts on the Republicans' Notorious ACB. It erases Ruth Ginsburg. I reject it. Will not have it. It's bullshit.
I agree. So what do you think? What else do you have to say about the whole thing? Or is that really what you had for today's topic? You must have more.
For her, I think it's horrible. I think it's wretched. I've been of different opinions because I think she's going to be confirmed. I don't think there's any way to stop it.
No doubt.
She's going to be confirmed. I've thought that they should just boycott it and not show up because it's such a political move. Just the Democrats shouldn't even show up. But then I also think because that's kind of what they did to Garland, but he never got a hearing. So then part of me thinks, though, too, that they, not out of respect, because I don't think they owe the process any respect,
Right.
is to ask questions like the affordable. She's going to just lie because, or she's going to obfuscate and try to lie without lying because she's a good, quote, Christian. But she's not going to tell them that she's going to overturn the Affordable Care Act, but we all know she will. She will certainly overturn Roe. And if she gets a chance, she'll overturn Obergefell. So I'm now really thinking that they should expand the Supreme Court. If the Democrats take the White House and the Senate, I believe, because they have been so brutally and ruthlessly treated by people like Mitch McConnell, we can't keep bringing a knife to a gunfight. We just can't. They need to get rid of the filibuster and they need to add 4 seats to this court. That's how I stand on it. I think it's a travesty that she's being, and there's a videotape of her stabbing Merrick Garland in the back in 2016 on Fox News or CBCN. It was one of the shows, but there's a clip of her. It's not fake. It is her saying that it was too close to the election to put in another Supreme Court. And then she said that Garland's judicial views were so different from Scalia's that it wouldn't be proper. It was she referred to it as not a lateral move. So excuse me, Amy, are you a lateral move for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's judicial views, or does having a vagina make it a lateral move? Because Trump, a lot of these people think any woman will do as long as she's a conservative.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some political motivation besides the core of why she's going in. And it doesn't all rest on her. You remember there's 4 other justices that are going to make it the majority vote. So it's not like, I mean, she's going to tip it, yes, and I get that. But that's a lot of pressure on her because you still got four ignorant men that are part of that opinion, most recently his other appointee. But I think that, it's not lost on me that he appointed a woman, to follow Biden's playbook when Biden made it known he was going to appoint a vice president. But I also think, so I was talking to my friend Candace, super, super good dear friend, a little older, but more like your age, maybe a little older. But we were talking about when did the Supreme Court get so polarizing? And I kind of looked it up, and basically it was during the Roe v. Wade vote in 73. Before then, it was like pretty balanced, and people were just voting on things. And when it became such a, I agree you can legislate social issues if it's like someone's getting hurt, so you have a speeding limit, whatever. But how do you legislate morality? And all of a sudden we started to legislate personal morality, and that's where it gets so difficult. Back then, Chief Justice, it was Roe v. Wade, by the way, was a 7-2 vote. I didn't know it was so strong.
7-2.
That's crazy, with Chief Justice Warren Burger and 6 other justices voting for Jane Roe or going that route. But it was interesting to see how that all played out. And then we talked about just age. You've got Ruth Bader. One of the wonderful things about Ginsburg, she was friends with Scalia. She had personal relationships with these people. It wasn't personal. She was just stating her opinion, making her opinion, and going forth with what she believed. I have tried hard to as a feminist, and I'm just saying, I've tried hard to try to understand this, Barrett, and see if she's really going to overturn the three things you said or be on that side of the vote. I see she's adopted 2 Haitian kids. She has a kid with Down syndrome. I'm sure as a human being, she's passionate. Of course, the Republicans are already bashing the Democrats to say they're attacking her Catholicism.
While they attack Joe Biden's Catholicism, while Donald Trump says that Joe Biden is against God. Absolute bullshit. Right. Bullshit.
And that's just where I was going to head with it. And so here's the deal. Here's my opinion on it. Yes, she's going to get in. Yes, I believe Obamacare will be overturned. But at what cost? And this is where, we're talking about the playbook, they're making a huge mistake. Because we are going to take the White House, especially if this goes forth and people are more pissed off. You've already alienated the people that have pre-existing conditions, whose lives are going to be, let me get aside the emotional part. My dear friends that are going to be affected by it. You're going to piss that whole group off. Then you're going to piss, the Democrats off in general. They're going to put Biden in because of this. And there's all these seats for the Republican senators or Congress people who are going to, senators who are going to vote for her, and that's what I was reading. It's going to jeopardize the Colorado, Arizona, Maine.
Well, I hope so. I hope they lose. I want them to lose.
And that's what they're forgetting. There's going to be a bigger picture result than just the gain of overturning Obamacare. And I agree with you. And they have the power.
Well, and that's not really their. Well, yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, their real goal for decades has been Roe. And there's a good piece in the Washington. I think it was the Washington Post today about how it's probably time for people who support Roe to accept defeat. And I Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself actually thought it was a mistake. It was a mistake. The decision was a mistake and should have been left up to the states and it would have avoided all of this shit for the last 45 years, whatever it is. And I agree with her. I think it was a bad decision. And I think if it had been left up to the states, most of the states would have come around and it would have been handled that way. But instead, it created this social war that has been going on for 50 years. And I don't think Donald Trump would be in the White House if there was no Roe. I think a lot of things would be different if there was no Roe, because it has been a singular obsession with people who, and Ginsburg also said that because of that decision, the anti-choice forces really have dominated in the state legislatures. It's almost impossible to get an abortion in 26 states in this country now. So why are we clinging to this decision as if a woman in Mississippi can, go down and get an abortion? She can't. So let's accept the reality. And I personally would like to see it gone. So the society could somehow find a way to move past it.
I agree with you.
And not women are, like I just said, it's not this idea that Roe being in place means that women can get abortions is bullshit. It's really hard in most of this country to get an abortion.
Oh my God. Look at the recent Supreme Court justice case that happened in Louisiana, which was in Shreveport. My friends were involved in that. But yeah, no nominee in history. So that's where there's a commonality, but a little different. Ginsburg was like, it shouldn't have been decided this way. It should have been a state matter. Amy Coney Barrett, her whole goal, she has written extensively on the topic of the candidate's view of she wants to overturn a case that she considers wrongly decided, and that's really, she's made it known. She's written about it overly. So, nonetheless, I think they're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. And
they need to be these justices like her, by the way, because we need to wrap this up. Need to be careful with that kind of thing, because if they're going to start ignoring staridesis, however you pronounce it, and overturning decisions they think were wrong, that opens the door to the next time that there's any sort of moderate or progressive majority throwing their decisions out. So remember, lady, when you say Obergefell is creating policy and needs to be thrown out, someday we're going to be throwing your shit out too. So
that's what I think. Put 4 new justices on and clean it up. All right, so ding ding ding, we got some end quotes for the show, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Thank
you. Another fiery day. Watch the debates for a little bit. I just want to, he was Trump, Clinton. I watched him stalk her on the stage, and if she had the guts, whatever, she should have turned to him and said, "Back the fuck off," or "Back off. You're not gonna stalk me like this." She didn't. She just kept talking and being very professional. Biden's not gonna put up with that.
No,
so Trump's not going to be able to play his little thuggish bullshit, I don't think, with Joe Biden. Here's my quote. Quote, "Believe in truth. To abandon facts is to abandon freedom. If nothing is true, then no one can criticize power, because there is no basis upon which to do so. If nothing is true, then all is spectacle. The biggest wallet pays for the most blinding lights." That is Timothy Snyder from his book On Tyranny.
Whoop.
Whoop. So whoop.
That's a good one, Mark. As promised, mine is a quote from Tina Fey.
She got a house near us, by the way. It's huge.
Does she really?
You can see it. You can see it across the river. It's being built. It's enormous.
Oh, it's being built.
Yeah, it's being built. It's like really big.
See her little coffee house, and she invites you in. Well, after, all this went on and they said, "Oh, you did blackface in your show," she personally reached out and contacted the streaming services that featured her 30 Rock episodes and asked those episodes to be removed. There were 4 episodes that took place between 2006 and 2013 that featured Jane Krakowski and John Hamm in blackface. It was part of the storyline. And what I respect her, and she was willing to give up. I never followed through. I kind of looked and poked around to see if she gave up the Mark Twain Award. They were at pushing.
No, she should not give up that up. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
She was willing to. I agree, especially when she made a move like she did. But here's the quote she said about why she did it. She said, "As we strive to do the work and do better in regards to race in America, we believe that these episodes featuring actors in race-changing makeup are best taken out of circulation." Here's the best part. Here's what she continued to say. "I understand now that intent is not a free pass for white people to use these images. Going forward, no comedy-loving kid needs to stumble on those tropes and be stung by their ugliness."
Absolutely. Love you, Tina. But keep the award. That's way too far. Way too far. Yeah, okay. Thanks, everybody. It's been a fabulous twist. We're taking off next week. And then at the end of... Actually, we're going to take off 2 weeks in October because I got my birthday week, man. I podcast not on my birthday. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. And oh my gosh, the things we're going to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. Yeah, so that date, I'm just kind of looking up, guys. Mark your calendar. I think it's going to be like October 13th. We'll see you then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, Mark.